hi, everyone. Welcome to Meet Me in the Penthouse. We've got another great episode, and we hope you're ready for this one because it's my sister and I. It's Amy and Molly that you get today. And we're going to be talking about something, it's easiest to teach something when you're going through something. And there's a great book, and I told Amy, what we should talk about is the dip. And there is a great book by Seth Godin. Hopefully I'm saying his name right, Seth Godin, and it's called The Dip. And in it, he talks about when nothing is happening, everything is happening. But when you're standing in the thick of it, it's so hard to see. And I know we've had a guest on before, Dr. Sasha Skillcutt, and we talked about this, about don't make a decision when you're in a plateau, when you're in the valley, right? And you think that it's just not working. Consistency is the key. And so we really just wanted to talk about this today because it might be catching some of you out there. It might be catching all of you out there as, I'm right there in the thick of it right now.
Yes. And I think especially Molly and I have always talked about persistence. That's one of the great traits that we have learned from our parents. And so I always think persistence kind of goes along with the dip. We know that, the universal laws are, it's not always going to be up and it's not always going to be down. So, we tell our children, I tell my children, this is temporary. This setback is temporary. This feeling is temporary. This season is temporary, right? And there are times that we have to remind ourselves that this is temporary. Right. And Molly and I are definitely coming off of that season that we really felt
stillness, of
quiet, of of quiet. I think and that is something we are not used to, and it was a God ordained kind of quiet for us both. We both were going 1,000,000 miles an hour, and we felt a true calling to just step back, to focus on the things that God had truly put in our hearts. And I think we found ourselves doing for so many others, which I think we tend to do as high achieving women, right? Just giving so much of ourselves and then not leaving enough for those that we care about the most, our families and our husbands.
And even letting, others step up to lead. I know that was something that we felt really called to do. Is it's so great to lead. It's so great to put things out there and do it out of the goodness of your heart. And so we stepped aside to let other people shine, but no one stepped up. Yes. And so it was kind of like, oh, okay, now what do we do?
Yes, it was. It was one of those things that I just listened to so many great podcasts on how true leaders need to step aside because you don't want to take away the opportunity from somebody else. Somebody gave us the opportunity.
Yes.
They said, I believe in you. Step up and lead. And we did. We did for 3 years, relentless, every single morning. We led a morning call. And so when we decided, and this really spoke volumes, I think, and it really helped us as we sat in the stillness and in the quiet and in the, the faithful period of our lives. It really taught us that we were doing a lot. And then when we stepped back, the whole program ended. And we needed to examine what that really was about, right? And I think if you've taken a look at that, any other woman who has just given and given and given, and then when you decided maybe you didn't have the time to, be the president of this organization or to be the 5 a.m. instructor for your fitness class because it was interrupting your sleep. What happened? Did people step up? Or is it something that you needed to, continue to look at and re-examine, giving, teaching others, to step up to leadership and encouraging them.
And it might
not become dependent.
Yes. Right. That's, I think, the confusing thing in the dip is it's not life sucking. It's not like this is draining me.
We loved it.
You absolutely, it is. And so where in your life right now are you telling yourself like, I absolutely love this. It is filling me. But maybe other people around you are feeling the pinch, and kind of like, okay, what about me over here? How about me? Or it's just, or you think, so I don't want people to get confused with like, oh, but it just brings me so much joy. I just think like the 5 a.m.
It brought me so much joy. And in fact, I miss it. I miss it terribly. And I've had to go through, not because I've had so many people say, when are you starting the 5 a.m.? I miss it. And I said, we need to take a break. For me, it was interrupting my sleep so much because I stressed. I almost felt like I was on airplane mode. When you're flying out at 5 a.m. and you have to get up at 3 a.m. I constantly, I didn't get up to an alarm, so I just didn't sleep.
Just woke up at 2 a.m. and texted me. Don't worry, I was on Do Not Disturb. But still, I mean, and I said, you can't keep living like this. And just, that anticipation, whether it's a call you lead, whether it is a 5 a.m. workout class, like you said the other day, I haven't done a 5 a.m. class. I'm up in the morning, but I just start my morning a little bit more slowly. And I forgot that nauseating feeling until I did a 5 a.m. class on Friday. Am I up then? Yes, but I'm just not used to bright lights and right away activity right away. And it was so, and I called Amy and I said, that is the interesting thing to me is how like icky and like I felt nauseous the whole time I was in there. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is because this is what I did for 20 years prior to that. So that 5 a.m. call of your sleep, like you're living on an airplane every single day. At some point, it's like, this is not working. I mean, I know your husband and we kept saying, this is not working. This is not working. But it fills my heart. It fills my soul.
I loved it. I know. Yes. I mean, people would say, the comments yes. I needed to step back and look because people loved it. They were so complimentary.
And it feeds your ego. If you're leading a fitness class, all the people coming to the class are like, oh my gosh, but we love you. We miss you. We want you here. We want you to lead us. It's hard.
Yes.
Your ego kind of gets in the way a little bit.
So as we have been in a little bit of that transition and really fine tuning, for us, where God really wants us to serve in this season of our life, it is amazing how when you're in the desert, in the valley, in the quiet, how when you sit and listen, and that's been hard because we're both overachievers. We both are woos. We like to be around people constantly, but I've had to spend a lot more time alone. I don't have people calling and texting me 24/7, like what was the meditation you did? What was, asking all the questions or saying thank you for, another great day. I haven't had that. And so I have had to go inward and really sit with my thoughts, really for me, talk to God, do my own focus on myself again, because when you're feeding into others, I wasn't able to have that quiet morning of resetting my nervous system, all of that, because I was sitting in bright lights. I had the white light on me. I got dressed, I have to have my lipstick on, and
you're like, I'm ready to go. I'm up and ready to go. And I think that in the dip, I always say, don't make a decision. Don't make a decision in the desert. Don't make a decision in the valley, because when you take a step back and really even launching the podcast, right? We had been podcasting for 18 months and the studio that we were going to be coming to wasn't quite ready. And finally, we told Hurrdat, like, we're ready to go because we're just aching for this.
We got to come in.
We got to have 90 days off, and that was so good for our soul. But we love, especially when you work from home, it's fun to come into an office. It's fun to come in where the energy is high and where people are playing ping pong and smiling and having a good time. And everybody is here on a team. It feels good. So it was something that we needed. So we did pause for 90 days. And in that pause, really just those great questions of like, what do we really want to get out to the world? And why does our voice matter? And who do we want to have as guests? And things like, just like who would be the perfect person to share this information. It gave us time to really reflect. And so if you're in the dip, again, don't take it as a sign of this means I should quit. This means I'm done.
Do not quit. Do not quit. Make the decision to quit when you're out of the desert,
Yes.
when you're up again. Make the decision to quit. And 9 times out of 10, you won't quit.
You won't quit because we know we didn't. We just said, you know what? We're going to offer this program. We're just not going to come back 5 to 7 days a week. It's going to be a coveted time where, and I love what people have said because now they're like, we love that we get to anticipate that coming together. It's not just it's not just a habit anymore. It's just like, oh my goodness, I can't wait. It's already Wednesday morning. We get to come to our Wednesday miracle morning or, the name always changes, but I love that. Don't ever make a decision when you're in the dip. And the great thing in the book that Seth does is he takes a step back and the company he used was Pepsi. And it's like anything in your business. I know in 2020, real estate was unreal. And are we going to ever have that again? No. I mean,
well, I'd sure love it.
Yeah, she would love it. It would be
we had some really, really wonderful years, but there are ebbs and flows of business.
Of everything,
Absolutely.
of any business. You can't always have 164% growth like we had in our business when I first started. That is not, it's lovely to experience that, but then it's lovely. And that's where the real grit comes. It's lovely to experience the dips where you're like, okay, what is this teaching me? Who am I really? What do I really love? What brings me joy? I mean, those are some powerful questions, which you'll get in our journal that is coming, the knowing. And we
did do that during our downtime because we wouldn't have taken the time to sit and write a journal.
Reflective
questions. Every single one was thought out, and we've done it and redone it. And that drove
redone it.
And redone it. But we know when and it will be coming out soon, it's going to be so worth it because it's exactly what we would want to journal to every morning because we have, as you know, journaled for years and years. So out of that desert,
Exactly, came this incredible journal, and there will be more. And I think that's the beautiful thing is when you take a step back then and look at where you've gone, and he shows this in a great graph, and it was with Pepsi, but it was like, oh my goodness, when we were actually growing, we were just growing at a different level. It wasn't going backwards. So even though it might feel like you're going backwards, you're really not. And you're not stuck. You're just reflecting. I mean, that's how I look at it. I'm like, we haven't been stuck. We've just been in a reflection mode, in a regrowth mode, a rebuild mode.
I call it a surrender mode. I mean, for me, I remember, in December, I was like, okay, God, just take it all away and show me exactly what you want. And he did. He took it all away. No.
Yes. You're like, wait, I didn't mean like that.
Just for me, it was that surrender. And when you are willing to do that, the silence is what, for me and all of us high achievers, is so uncomfortable, but it's where I have learned so much about myself. And we were talking today about some challenges that have just come up and recently. And because I've had the time to sit in some things and really focus on, what I want, what brings me joy, kind of that nervous system reset, challenges that normally would have like gut punched me, made me have that sick feeling.
She's had some doozies. I'm not going to lie to you.
I know. Molly's like, well, you didn't tell me about that. And I'm like, well, I didn't want to put any, I didn't even want to feed it.
I mean, after about 17 in a row of these, I was like, oh my Lord, I can't believe you're standing and not here sobbing. But again, it's because of what we teach in our coaching program in our community it's all about who you are, who you're being.
Yes. And so again, like you said, that resiliency, I've had, all of the hard things that I've had happen to me over these last 4 months. I refuse to quit. I double down on myself. I posted something yesterday that Reese Witherspoon said, I will show up. I am the lottery ticket. I will not give up on myself. I am my own lottery ticket.
Oh, I love that.
And so that is exactly how I feel. Like when I am getting kicked and knocked down, because let me tell you, it's happened to me many times, all of us, right? Over and over
17 times this week, like I said.
At least 17 times this week. And I'm still here smiling. And I'm so grateful. And I always think, what can I learn from this? And one of the things, too, is I've learned not to take it personal, because when somebody is unkind to me and their delivery is really, rude, let's just say, I think, gosh, they must be really unhappy with themselves to talk to me that way. Or they must really not be in a great place to not treat me the way I deserve to be treated. And I know my worth. And so I'm okay saying, that's all right. We can, we're there for a season. We, maybe we were, partnered for a season, partnered for years. It's okay.
We're grateful for the gift.
We are so grateful for the gift. And I think that is, as we're coming out of the desert, and we saw the mountain on the other side, we saw what we are called to. We know the view is beautiful at the top, because that we've been at the top. We're always at the top, but there are going to be those ebbs and flows. And so I just can't wait, as we're now like climbing and getting ready to peak again, to summit in this next season, in this next phase, and we just have such clarity. I'm so freaking excited. So I'm like, keep knocking me down, because I'll get back up.
Because I've got this big vision on my heart. So I think the biggest thing is, and when you said this, I always think of what we told the kids growing up is hurting people hurt people, right?
Yes.
We've all heard that. And so you're like, dang, they must be really hurting. But then the gratitude, and we talk about this all the time, the gratitude for the gift that there is, because somewhere there is a gift, and all of that getting knocked down, and all of the quote, nothing is happening when everything is happening. That is a gift. And like, thank you for opening my eyes. Thank you for letting me find what does bring me joy, and what does bring me what I'm excited about the most. And so that's, you've got that desire, that burning desire in your heart. You keep going. Like Amy said, persistence, consistency, and just a grateful heart is in those lower times, in those lonely times too. That's what's going to get you through.
And we've talked about that too. We've talked about when you can be surrounded by people at the top of your game and still be lonely. And which is, that's the truth, is that we are at the top of our game, but there are seasons that seem lonely and, quieter, and that's okay. That's what's normal. And it really,
there's nothing wrong with you.
There's nothing wrong with you. You're not broken. You don't quit. You're not behind. You're not too old. All the silly things that you may tell yourself, though, that is false. That is, for me, it's the, just, I don't even feed that negative energy. Like I said, when Molly's like, I can't believe all of that's happened to you, and you didn't even tell me. And I'm like, I don't even tell my husband half the time. I just am like, well, crap.
Well, darn it.
And I turned my Jesus music up.
Yes. And that was not you. I mean, that was neither one of us. That would have really set us back years ago. But that's why it's so important just for that penthouse frequency, right?
Yes.
To elevate yourself, to expand, to really see more than what you see right in front of your eyes. Like, it's out there. Just keep believing, keep moving forward. Persistence, consistency. If I could just be a broken record and keep saying that.
And be your own lottery ticket. Know that you are.
That.
I'll never forget my therapist when I was walking through a divorce and trying to decide, like, I can't leave. I mean, what are people going to think financially? I mean, all the things, right? Everything we built together. I can't do it without him. We've been together since we were 19. And my therapist said, what if you're the prize? Have you ever thought maybe you're the prize? And I hadn't ever thought about that. That just was like a mic drop moment for me. And so I want to remind you, I want to ask you that question. What if you're the prize? So if you're in this season of quiet, of stillness, what if you're the prize? I really think that is something that we have learned, and we know our worth, and it feels good to know that, to set boundaries with something that was affecting our health, right. Or my health, my sleep, and to know that more is always coming. More is always coming.
Because we live in the penthouse.
More is always coming in the penthouse.
And so I hope you found this, honestly, I hope you found this episode. We've been talking about it for weeks and saying we really need to share with everyone where we've been. And I bet this might serve a lot of people out there. So if you know someone who's in the dip, who needs to know that they are the prize, right? Or the lottery ticket, like I am the lottery ticket, share this episode with them because it could change, it could save a life. Truly, it really could. So share, and then however you listen, whatever platform, we love 5-star reviews. So go ahead and hit that 5-star, like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. And thank you for meeting us in the penthouse again. Thanks so much for joining us for another episode of Meet Me in the Penthouse. And we would love to have you follow us at www.sistersnextdoor.com.
Anywhere that you listen to your podcast, please feel free to give us 5 stars because we know you're going to find us fabulous, and pass this along to any friends that you know would enjoy this episode.